Hi, this is Josh Valencia, and we're going to look at how to put a pitched sample onto the OPZ for you to play. So first steps first is to go ahead and find a sample. So the one I'm going to be using for this demo is this right here. And that is a sample of a woman. She's singing with an orchestra behind her, and I just found a little snippet that I liked. So it's worth noting that I did choose just 2 beats, and I matched the tempo of my OPZ. This isn't mandatory, but it does make it even when you're playing it, because if you're having a sample that's way too short, it may cut off at a weird time. That may be something that you're going for, but I was looking for something a little cleaner. So also what I've done is that I made a bunch of copies. What we want to do first is basically make sure this is all going to fit on the OPZ. What we're going to be using to format everything is the OP1 drum utility. And in order to use that, what we're going to need to do is make sure that it'll fit. So I've gone ahead and made my selection, and if you look up here, I'm using Pro Tools, and Pro Tools tells you how long that section is going to be. It looks like it's 12.711. That's a little big. What I'm going to do before I go ahead and do anything is make sure I get it to the right length. So let's see now. Still looks a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and just peel off the end. So these would have been octaves from the middle, and it looks like, okay, great. So I am just at the limit. That looks good. Next step is to go ahead and pitch everything. I'm going to leave this at 0. I marked it so that I wouldn't pitch it, but what we're going to do is just go ahead and pitch these. So in Pro Tools, what we want to do is make sure that we have our elastic properties here, our elastic audio settings set to polyphonic, because this is a polyphonic sample. If I were doing a hat or a snare or some toms or anything, I'd go ahead and do that in the rhythmic setting, but we're going to go ahead and use polyphonic. And the way you do that, just right clicking, go to elastic properties, and I'm going to start by doing this one. So I'm going to start with -11. All right, so the next step is just going to be to check our work here. Let's go ahead and check that. All right, so it looks like everything fits. Looks like everything's the right pitch. The next thing to do is actually commit these. So by commit in Pro Tools, there's a command shift and 3, and what that lets me do is make this into its own audio file for all these here. All right, so now that we have everything kind of rendered, and you may be able to see, well, I hope you were able to see as I was going ahead and applying that, or committing these. It's not actually commit, there's another name for it, but the pitch shift changed to 0. But if we go back and listen, we can see that it's actually rendered the pitch shift to the audio track. Let's go ahead and listen one more time. And you could see those did change pitch, but the pitch shift is 0 because I took this, pitched it, and then committed it to the track. So that's pretty important. That's why I keep on repeating it. So you can go ahead and select your tracks, and over here on the clip list, you're going to right click, export clips as files. We're going to go ahead and make sure that this is going to the right spot, and I'm going to go ahead and just drop it in here. All right, next up, we're going to go and use the OP1 drum utility. All right, so here we are. Here's the OP1 drum utility. Just open that up. Next thing we're going to do is make sure that we have our samples in the right order. So I'm going to go ahead and play 46 and make sure that it's the lowest tone here, because when I go ahead and drag these over, they actually drag over in order. So I want to make sure that when I'm playing on the keyboard, my low notes are over here. So let's go ahead and demo this guy here. That's my low one, and geez, that's my high one. All right, that's really loud. Let's go ahead and move these over onto the OP1, it looks like here, but this is just to format it in the right way here. Then you're just going to click Export AIF for OP1. And the way I do this is I try to keep the name short, because I think the OPZ truncates the name when you go ahead and put the file on the unit itself. So I'm gonna call this OPZ Horned Lady, and you'll know why in a second. All right, so you can see that the file's now here, and then our next step is going to be to put this on the OPZ itself. In order to do that, you're going to grab your OPZ, hold down the, well, first make sure it's off. Hold down the track button, then you're gonna turn the yellow on knob until it's on while you're holding down that track button. And then it's gonna go green and you're gonna see the OPZ pop up here under your devices or in my computer. If you're on PC, it should work. Then you're gonna take your file. I'm just gonna put it on my OPZ here. Then I'm gonna go to sample packs, put it under the FX, which is that little waveform on your OPZ right after the hi-hat and before the bass. And I feel like putting it on track 10. So I'm gonna drop that there. Then as soon as you hit this eject button here, your OPZ is gonna do that animation it does every time it turns on, and then you should see your samples on your unit. So let's go ahead and eject this and give it a listen. To wrap up, I thought I'd show you what I'm trying to do with the sample. I brought it into Pro Tools here and just wanted to play a little bit of what I'm doing, and hope you guys liked it. If you did, just like and subscribe. See ya.